Gather around the table once again for another session of Dungeons and Drakfus, and today, this week, we have a really big treat for you guys. So, last week, or in the previous weeks, we've taken care of some of the patch content of Wrath of the Lich King. We braved the hallowed halls of Ulduar. We stopped re-origination of this planet from happening. We also dealt with patch 3.2 and the Trial of the Crusade, where we helped out the Arching Crusade to find new candidates and prepare themselves for the assault on Icecrown Citadel. And now it's time, as we go into the content for patch 3.3, Fall of the Lich King. And we get to start this off in a really great way. So again, this is patch 3.3. This was the second to last patch that was launched for Wrath of the Lich King, but in a lot of people's minds, this ends the Wrath of the Lich King content because we are assaulting Icecrown Citadel. Now, a couple of cool things happened in this patch. First of all, this was the first time that the queuing LFD system was actually put into place. And the reason that it was put into place was because there were 3 brand spanking new 5-man dungeons specifically for Icecrown Citadel content, plus, you know, the Icecrown Citadel raid. So we're actually going to start off with the 5-man content because it's actually a really cool story. And that's actually why we're in Dalaran, because we're going to talk to Dark Ranger Varel to start this up. So let's go and talk to her. Inside the frozen citadel. Monk, come close, quickly. I must have a word. My queen, the Lady Sylvanas Windrunner, has uncovered a hole in the defense of Icecrown Citadel into a place she referred to as the Forge of Souls. She sent word before she left for me to find fierce fighters to send her way. I think you'll do. Go to her within the entrance to the forge, Monk. Okay, so we're going to enter the Forge of Souls to find Sylvanas Windrunner. Now, to be able to do that, she's basically made her way into Icecrown Citadel, and unfortunately, there's really no flight path nearby for either the raid or the 5-mans. But like I said, we got these 3 new 5-mans, which were basically to help out alt characters get up to the gear needed for Wrath of the Lich King, or for Fall of the Lich King content. As well as, this was actually the implementation of the first ever raid weekly event, where you basically went in for a week, you took care of a boss within a raid, and then you could turn that in for additional currency and rewards. And I remember a lot of people loving this, especially when it was Flame Leviathan, because that was easy week. You didn't have to worry about rolls or anything like that, because it was all covered in the vehicles. But here is Icecrown Citadel, and as you can see, we've got a little battering ram right there. And the Arching Crusade is right outside the gates. This was not there before until patch 3.3. Now, also, attached into the description, I'm going to be leaving the trailer for Fall of the Lich King, so you guys can check that out and see how things began for the beginning of the end of Wrath of the Lich King. So, actually, here is where we need to go for the Frozen Halls. And so it actually opened up 3 dungeons. Now, the first 2 are kind of the outliers, and then in the middle is the climax event for this. But first of all, let's go ahead and go into the lore, because the lore is the same for all of them, and you guys will see the plot as it goes along. So here is the description for basically all 3 of the 5-man dungeons. For many years, champions among the races of Azeroth have stood against the Lich King, only to be slaughtered mercilessly and forced to serve in his army of undead horrors. In this ongoing struggle to stop the Lich King, Tyrion Fordring of the Arching Crusade has joined forces with Darian Mograine of the Knights of the Ebon Blade in order to assault Icecrown Citadel with a unified army called the Ashen Verdict. Alright, so we're going to start things off with the Forge of Souls, the first dungeon that you go into for this event. Let's go ahead and step on in, and this is going to be a heroic version, because why not? This is actually my favorite of the 3 dungeons, just as far as its look. And here is Sylvanas Windrunner, so let's go ahead and talk to her.
I've no time for games.
We have no time to waste, Monk. Why do you delay here?
I was sent to you by Dark Ranger Varel.
Good Drakfu. I know of you. You'll be perfect for these tasks. We've been afforded a rare chance to delve into Icecrown Citadel, but we must move quickly if we're to avoid Arthas's notice.
Now, this is actually the Legion model.
Not slaves to this torment.
So, like I said, this is actually the Legion model of Sylvanas Windrunner. She had a different model back in the day, but now we have Echoes of Tortured Souls.
Delving into the Citadel with so few is risky at best, but opportunities like this are too rare to pass up. Clear the way to the far side and secure the passage to the Pit of Saren. We will need to hold it and move our men further into the Citadel.
All right, so I'm going to be careful with this.
The Argent Crusade and the Knights of the Ebon Blade have assaulted the gates of the Icecrown Citadel and are preparing for a massive attack upon the Scourge. Our mission is a bit more subtle, but equally as important. With the attention of the Lich King turned towards the front gate, we'll be working our way through the side, in search of information that will enable us to defeat him, once and for all. Our scouts have reported that the Lich King has a private chamber outside of the Frozen Throne, deep within a place called the Halls of Reflection. That is our target, champions. We will cut a swath of destruction through this cursed place, and find a way to enter the Halls of Reflection. If there is anything of value to be found here, it will be found in the halls. The Dark Lady watches over you. Make haste.
So basically, we will be questing with Sylvanas Windrunner. If you're for the Alliance, you quest with Jaina Proudmoore as we go through the Frozen Halls to discover what this possible weakness might be for the Lich King. So let's go ahead and start our quest in here. And like I said, this is my favorite of the 3 instances just because of its look. I know a lot of people hated it. I don't get why. I really don't. It's great. And I'll show you guys. So, woo, look at that. That's a really cool forge right there. And then you go down even further. Oh, this is great. This is amazing artwork. So let's go ahead and get things started in the Forge of Souls. Just take care of their Scourge minions. Now, another reason that the people actually didn't like this instance was simply because it didn't have that many bosses. It actually was limited to just 2. But I don't consider that a legit excuse because the other 2 have 3 bosses in them. So, doesn't really hold weight to me. Let's go ahead and take care of these guys. There we go. Now, I'm going to be very wary of trash drops because there's actually a particular drop I would love to be able to get on my monk for transmog purposes, but it's rare. It's super rare. So rare, in fact, that you could still charge like a good 100,000 gold on the auction house for it. Here we go. And it drops off of any trash in the Frozen Halls area, so anywhere in these 5 mans it drops. I think it also drops on Icecrown Citadel too, but I've never seen it drop there. Here we go. So we just entered the big forge that we just barely saw. Now we go deeper in. This is why I like it, is because you're suspended over basically your death if you don't play things right. There we go. Kill these guys. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to kill all of the trash. Like, there's trash packs you can go and kill endlessly, but I'm not going to go out of my way to find them. So we are actually at the first boss of the Forge of Souls, which is Bronum. Let's go and read into his lore. Bronum has served the cult of the damned from the early days. Kel'Thuzad himself taught Bronum the value of souls and how to grind them down to fuel the engines of the Scourge. He can corrupt the souls of his foes and tear them out piece by piece, making them the ideal guardian for the Lich King's Forge of Souls. And yes, he is actually a reference to James Brown, who I believe near the release of Patch 3.3 had passed away. So he's a James Brown reference, as you guys will see.
A captive audience.
See, he would make noises like that throughout, and yeah, he's a James Brown reference, so rest in peace, James Brown. Oh, and we actually did get nighttime. That's a appearance I didn't have already. So Bronum is down. Let's go ahead and make our way to the last boss of the Forge of Souls. Yeah, most of this video, making it long, is going to be because I'm talking. Oh. They also put a little bit of R&B music in there. I really don't want to interrupt it because it's awesome. Okay. There we go. And here is the last boss, which is the Devourer of Souls, which is actually a retool from Black Temple. So let's go and learn about the Devourer of Souls. The dark industries Branham carries out in the Forge of Souls produce tortured, fragmented spirits. To prevent their escape and use every scrap of the damned, the Lich King created the Devourer of Souls. The Devourer of Souls hunts and consumes the stray spirits and slowly breaks them down within its terrible form. The consumed souls are driven mad with an anguish and suffering, but the Devourer's hunger is never sated. So here we go. The Devourer of Souls, and this is the only thing I don't like about this instance is this whiny voice.
You dare look upon the host of souls! I shall devour you all!
Will you now?
The swell of souls will not be abated! You only delay the inevitable!
Excellent
know.
work, champions. We shall set up our base camp in these chambers. My Magi will get the Scourge transport device working shortly. Step inside when you are ready for your next mission. I will meet you on the other side.
Basically, these actual dungeons were supposed to flow into each other when you do them your first time. So we actually do get an instance portal here for the Pit of Saren. Let's go ahead and turn this in.
What joy is there in this curse?
The Pit of Saren lies ahead, and if our scouts are correct, past that will be the halls of reflection. It is there that Arthas lets his guard down, and it is there that we hope to find a clue to his weakness, and a route to vengeance long overdue.
The Pit of Saren.
Quickly, through the portal, I'll find you on the other side.
But we're not going to worry about that because that's going to do it for today. So when we get back on Tuesday, we're going to go into the second dungeon of the Frozen Halls instances, the Pit of Saren. We'll see you then.